This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
The Hilltoppers had a tough task ahead of them if they wanted to win the school's first boys basketball state title since 1997. Their opponents from Rutland came in as the two-time defending state champs and featured the 2019 Gatorade Player of the Year in senior Jamison Evans. The environment at the University of Vermont was also electric as both communities showed up to support their squad. Once the game kicked off, it was clear the matchup was going to be a back-and-forth contest. Both teams scored most of their points in the paint, as St. Johnsbury's junior Assam Heyman Jones was difficult to defend. He was able to grab multiple offensive rebounds and go up for second chance points. His teammate, junior Andrew Cowan, also threw in a 3-point and one play under the hoop. On the other side of things, Rutland senior Jacob Lorman was big with multiple layups, driving to the rim. His fellow senior Ethan Knott also knocked down a 3 from the left wing, off an assist from Evans. Toward the end of the second quarter, the Raiders started to build a small lead, and it seemed at one point like they might go into the break up by nearly double digits. But it was St. Johnsbury's Heyman Jones who was in the right place to receive a perfect assist from Cowan. And senior Alex Carlisle knocked down a huge jumper. After a big defensive stop against Rutland, the Hilltoppers went into the locker room down by just 4, with a score of 20-24. To start things off in the third quarter, St. J's Alex Carlisle started to heat up. He threw in an amazing 14 points in the quarter alone, with made jump shots and impressive drives to the hoop. While Alex did what he could to cut the deficit down to just one possession, Rutland's offense always seemed to have an answer. Senior Ethan Knott and sophomore Evan Paquette each knocked down huge threes for the Raiders. Eventually, Jamison Evans was able to hit some jumpers as well, and it appeared as if Rutland would go into the fourth up by 3. But after a missed free throw from Evans, Hilltoppers Carlisle quickly dribbled up the court, went around a couple of defenders who expected him to pull up, and instead drove right to the hoop for 2, which cut the deficit down to just 1 with a score of 37-38. Rutland began the final 8 minutes with another jumper from Jamison Evans, and Paquette threw in his third long ball of the game. The Raiders did what they could to try and build some momentum, but it was St. Johnsbury who always had an answer. Alex Carlisle and junior Logan Wendell made key free throws at the line, while Andrew Cowan scored near the rim off an assist from Wendell. These plays, combined with great defense, put the Hilltoppers up by 1 with 4 minutes to go. Then St. J's junior Nick Gukin nailed what could be considered the biggest shot of the game, after sinking a huge 3 from the right wing. This made shot put the Hilltoppers up by 4. Rutland now in a panic, rushed shots, and was never able to climb back into the game. The Raiders were soon forced to foul, and free throws from Carlisle and Wendell iced the game. When it was all said and done, St. Johnsbury had emerged victorious, with a final score of 54-50. Senior Alex Carlisle led all scorers with 24 points and 8 rebounds, while his teammate, junior Assam Heyman Jones, threw in 12 points with 9 boards. Rutland senior Jamison Evans finished with 14 points. After the game, we spoke with St. Johnsbury's head coach David McGinn to get his take on the matchup.
We came in with a game plan and we stuck with it. It proved to be the things that we needed to do, but like we did in our semifinal game, so too tonight. We took their initial punches and kept them at arm's distance, We went in at halftime exactly where we were Monday night, down 4, and we had given up 9 offensive rebounds. We had forced some shots that we wanted, but then gave them second and a couple of times third opportunities. Certainly our desire was to play them hard defensively and then force the tempo at least up the floor. It's not like we got a lot of breakouts tonight, but to just make them work. And on a floor like this, under these conditions, when you have to start making shots, suddenly your legs get a little weary. And whether or not that played into it, I don't know. Michael Wood is clearly one of the best coaches in the state. They were ready, we were ready. Turned out to be a great high school championship. Well, again, if you look at the rosters in play, I think both teams probably used 7 kids, with the front 5 logging most of the time. So kudos to the 10 of them, because this is a tough environment to go 32 minutes that hard. That said, one of the things that's really happened for us in the last 3 weeks is a trust factor for guys who don't always necessarily show up in the score column, but got touches tonight. The 3-pointer that Nick Gukin hit, his first points of the night, from the deep corner with confidence, just an absolute dagger. Logan's drive baseline and dish to Andrew on the opposite side to finish, those are huge. So Alex obviously stepped up and played a great game, and Alex and Logan, when we can get them to the foul line, usually take us home, and they did. You're speaking to an extremely old man. The first word that comes to mind is, I'm exhausted. But this has been a special time for St. Johnsbury Academy. We've just started with our girls indoor track to our boys alpine, our combined alpine team, our girls basketball team, and now our boys basketball team. Our boys track was 1 point away from the state championship. This has been a phenomenal winter, but we start spring sports tomorrow. So my AD hat goes back on.
St. Johnsbury finishes the season with an overall record of 17-7, while Rutland finishes at 18-5. Both teams will lose key seniors to graduation, but I'm sure both the Hilltoppers and Raiders will be competing for more state titles in the near future.